Right, let's bash this one out then.
Hello and welcome to this week's episode of Cast v Crew v Lockdown. And this episode, we're going to go a little bit mad. And we're going to do Alice in Wonderland without a random character generator, because I'm in charge and what I says goes. Let's begin. Chapter 1. Down
authority.
the rabbit hole. Alice is a 7-year-old girl who is feeling bored and is a little bit drowsy while sitting on a riverbank with her elder sister. She notices a talking clothed white rabbit with a pocket watch run past her, and she follows it down a rabbit hole where she suddenly falls a long way to a curious hall full of many locked doors of all sizes. She finds a key to the door which is too small for her to fit through, but through it she sees an attractive garden. She then discovers a bottle on a table labelled "Drink Me." In this scene, Matt, can you debate whether or not you should drink a bottle labelled "Drink Me"?
On the one hand, you should drink it because it says "drink me." On the other hand, if this bottle has a knowledge of reverse psychology, it might not want you to drink it. However, if that's the case, it might be hiding something, and if it knows that it'll have to give you that something if you do drink it, which means you should drink it either way.
Okay, so following Matt's advice, in her head, Alice drinks the bottle labelled "Drink Me" and shrinks to a size which is too small to reach the key which she left on the table. Upon which she finds a cake labelled "Eat Me." Matt, should she eat the cake labelled "Eat Me"?
No, for precisely the opposite set of reasoning.
Okay. Well, that was the entire story.
Yep.
Alice, following the advice of previous Matt, decides new Matt is wrong, so eats the cake. Chapter 1 end. Chapter 2, the Pool of Tears. So Alice has eaten the Eat Me cake and has grown to such a tremendous size that she hits her head on the ceiling. Unhappy, Alice begins to cry and her tears flood the hallway. However, she picks up a fan, which is just floating in the water, and it shrinks her down to a size which allows her to swim in her own tears, where she meets a mouse. Josh,
yeah.
Can you be Alice asking the mouse how it got there? Mary, can you be the mouse?
Right, mouse. Listen here. I've just I'm swimming down the river of tears, and you just so happen to be here, and I'm very annoyed as to why you're here. So could you just please describe to me exactly why you have deemed it reasonable to be next to my sea of tears?
Scene. The mouse is super offended at this and tries to escape from Alice. Chapter 3, the Caucus Race and a Long Tail. So the Sea of Tears suddenly becomes crowded with loads of animals that have been swept away by the rising waters, and Alice and the other animals convene on a bank. And the question among them is how to get dry again. So eventually a dodo decides that the best thing to do is to have a caucus race, which consists of everyone running in a circle with no clear winner. However, Alice eventually frightens away all the animals by talking about Matt. Please scare off the other animals by talking about something.
Alright. Well, the complexities of modern-day parliamentary debate are rarely known amongst the individuals of the general populace, but if you were to go into general detail about it, you'd realise that just like a caucus race, everybody sort of runs around in circles with never having a clear winner, and that governs a country.
Okay, Chapter 4, the rabbit sends a little bill. So the animals have been frightened off, and the white rabbit is now again searching for the Duchess's gloves and her fan. Mistaking her for his maidservant Marianne, Rabbit orders Alice to go into the house and retrieve the gloves and fan. Inside the house, she finds another little bottle and drinks from it because Matt told her to, and immediately begins growing again because puberty is horrible. The horrified rabbit orders his gardener, Bill the lizard, to climb on the roof and go down the chimney to basically kill the giant thing in his house. So we'll change it up a bit. Josh, can you be the rabbit ordering Bill the lizard, who is Matt, to go and kill the giant girl who is now inside your house?
The lizard!
Hello.
'Tis I, a rabbit!
It's me, Bill the lizard.
Please, Bill the lizard, could you do me a solid?
Yeah.
Get your ass up, that lady!
Yes. What?
To the top of the giant.
Okay, yeah.
It's a lady. Could you kill her? She's in my ass.
And scene. Okay, so while this conversation is happening, a crowd gather and don't like the fact that there's a giant, so start throwing rocks at her, which turn into tiny little cakes, which again, following the advice of not second Matt but first Matt, Alice eats and suddenly shrinks. She becomes so small that she lands upon a mushroom. Chapter 5, advice from a caterpillar. Alice comes upon a mushroom and sitting on it is a blue caterpillar smoking a hookah. Caterpillar questions Alice, who begins to admit to her current identity crisis, compounded by her inability to remember a poem. But before crawling away, the caterpillar tells Alice some very important advice. Mary, will you be the caterpillar telling Alice some very important advice?
Yes, important advice. Buy a bike. Don't watch too much TV. Plant some flowers because they look nice.
Great.
Make cakes sometimes and give them to friends.
Okay, so that's the advice to Alice, which makes the story super easy. So Alice interprets the cake message as a metaphor for the mushroom that she's standing on because she really likes cake, and breaks off two parts of the mushroom, one which makes her shrink really small and the other which makes her really, 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 really big again. Well, normal size. Chapter 6, Pig and Pepper. So a fish footman has arrived with an invitation for the Duchess of the house, which he delivers to a frog footman. Alice observes the fish and the frog, and after a perplexing conversation with the frog, lets herself into the house. The Duchess's cook is throwing dishes and making a soup that has too much pepper, which causes Alice, the Duchess, and her baby to sneeze violently. Alice is given the baby by the Duchess, and to Alice's surprise, the baby turns into a pig. Josh, can you be Alice reacting to the fact that the baby you've just been given has turned into a pig?
Shit.
And scene. The Cheshire Cat suddenly appears and directs Alice to the March Hare's house. He disappears, but his grin remains floating in the air on its own, prompting Alice to remark that she has often seen a cat without a grin, but never a grin without a cat. Chapter 7, A Mad Tea Party. Alice becomes a guest at a mad tea party along with the March Hare, the Hatter, and a very tired Dormouse who falls asleep, only to be violently awakened moments later by the March Hare and the Hatter. The characters give Alice many riddles and stories, with the most famous being, why is a raven like a writing desk? Matt, why is a raven like a writing desk?
Because if you find its drawers and open it, there's generally quill and parchment inside, and both of them are used by university professors to prove points.
Great. Okay, so the Hatter reveals that they have teal day because time is punishing them by eternally standing still at 6 p.m, which is tea time. Alice becomes insulted by this and is tired of being bombarded with riddles, and she leaves, claiming that it is the stupidest tea party that she has ever been to. Chapter 8, The Queen's Croquet Ground. Alice leaves the tea party and enters the garden which she saw before, and there are playing cards painting roses. Can all three of you be playing cards painting roses?
Mine will be green.
I've been playing roses and painting cards, guys. I'm so sorry.
Oh, you idiot. Oh.
Oh, I can't believe I've done this.
Steve, how long have you been doing this? How long have you been doing this?
Days.
Yeah, you have.
Yeah.
So why the hell are you doing this to us, Steve?
Because I'm winning.
Look at... Yeah, I was about to say, look at Graham here. Look at Graham here. Graham, show him your rose. Show him your rose.
Oh, man. That's a really nice rose. But it's also a winning hand.
And scene.
Oh.
So the Queen shows up and realises that the roses haven't been painted red and shouts off with a head, killing all of the cards. Alice is then invited to play a game of croquet with the Queen, which involves flamingos as mallets and hedgehogs as balls, and then the Cheshire Cat appears for some reason, and then the Queen tries to behead the Cheshire Cat, but the Cheshire Cat is now a head, and it doesn't succeed because it's just a head, and how can you behead a head when it's just a head? Chapter 9, The Mock Turtle Story. The Duchess is brought to the croquet ground, and Alice is request to resolve the matter about the head of the cat, and she ruminates on the morals of by taking in everything around her. The Queen of Heart dismisses her on threat of execution, and she introduces Alice to the Griffin. That was 10 minutes. We're nowhere near the end. This did not work.
Oh, no.
Thank you for tuning in. Stay tuned next week for more Alice in Wonderland.
What? No!
Hello, I'm the Mock Turtle. I had an existential crisis after my shell got smashed in football and I had to get a new one. Am I the same turtle I used to be? Who knows?
Josh, sing me Beautiful Soup.